Hello everyone. This video would focus on midpoint of a line segment. Please remember that the word midpoint is a combination of two letters, middle and point combined together. This tells us that a midpoint is a point that is located in the middle of a line segment. Technically, a midpoint is a point that divides the segment into two congruent segments. Let's take this picture right here. Suppose I have here point M is our midpoint. So I'm just going to label that down here. Based on this definition that we have here, since our M is the midpoint, the whole thing AB was cut into two pieces, two equal pieces. That is AM and MB. So these two line segments here, AM and MB, will be congruent to each other. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that statement up here. This statement is pretty much telling us that if this is the midpoint, then these two line segments would be congruent or equal each other. Now, what happens, others are going to say, what happens if this was not the midpoint? Then these two sides will not be congruent to each other. It has to be in the middle so that these two are congruent to each other. So it's pretty much a midpoint will cut this piece, we'll cut this line segment right here into two equal pieces. Now let's have some more examples. So in this problem right here, we are given point B as the midpoint. So that means this point B is located between A and C. So that we can go ahead and say that this line segment AB and this BC would be equal each other since this was cut into two equal pieces. So that we can go ahead and say that this BC is also 13. So the answer to this would be 13. Now let's move on to the next example. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Since the whole thing is 54, and remember our point B is the midpoint, which means that these two segments here would be congruent or equal each other. So that we can go ahead and say that our AB is half of 54, which is 27. So I'm just gonna write 27 right here. And so since these two are equal each other, so these two segments are equal each other since B is the midpoint, so that this one is also 27. So if you add 27 plus 27, the whole thing from A going to C is 54. So again, this is 27 and this is 27. Did you get the same answer as this? Good, perfect. Now let's move on to the next example. So in this example, we are given point B as the midpoint. Again, since B is the midpoint, the whole AC was cut into two equal pieces. So that we can go ahead and set up our equation that's going to be AB is equal to BC, so that we can solve for X. So we can go ahead and write that down here. So that is AB is actually equal to BC. So that we go ahead and plug the values in. So our AB is 10 minus 5x. So I'm just going to write that down here. So that is 10 minus 5x is equal to our BC is 3x plus 34. So that we go ahead and do the math to solve for x. Okay, after doing the math, our value for x is -3. Now, we can already put that up here. So x is equal to -3. Now, we're supposed to determine the measure of AB. Since we say that AB was 10 minus 5x, so we can show the work up here. So AB is equal to 10 minus 5x. And then again, remember that the x that we've solved is -3. So I plug that in here. So that's -3. So this comes out 10, -5 times -3 is positive 15. So that we can go ahead and say that AB is actually equal to 25. So this is the value for AB. So that is 25 right here. Now, since we say that B is the midpoint, we can therefore say that our BC would also be 25. But we have to show the work down here. Okay, so the value of BC is 25, and that's what we expected since, again, both of these, or line segment AC, was cut into two equal pieces. So AB is equal to BC. So again, this value right here is 25. That's it. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!